Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And I talked a little bit about the SAG-AFTRA video game voice talent strike last night in another video. We have more information on that now, so we're going to talk about it.
Yes.
Geeky is here to talk about it.
I am.
So we're going to talk about how Hollywood is getting its meat hooks into the video game industry. And I don't think this one's going to go the way they think either. We have some examples of that voice actors in video games, as much as you may love some of these people that bring these characters to life, they're not as valuable in video games, I don't think, as they are in other media, because people are used to voice actors changing all the time or turning the audio off on their game.
I think that too, a lot of the games are made in other countries, and sometimes they can go to places to have the voices done that aren't union people.
Right.
Right or wrong, they can. But I just think, to me, this is basically SAG-AFTRA, like, oh crap, people are just like, okay, we don't care about the actors, we'll just go play video games. And now they're like, well, we got to strike there too, guys.
Yep, we got to cut them off all over, and we were going to talk about this too, that they were going after influencers, like us. Basically, we're not allowed to talk about the studios or anything because we might accidentally promote these studios, even though they're cutting deals with some studios. And so let's talk about all this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. If you do, you'll get a woohoo.
Woohoo.
Now, this was just 2 hours ago, so this is a developing story, and it is Labor Day weekend, ironically enough. Labor Day weekend.
Yes, that is ironic.
Talking about the unions. But there has been a little more movement here. They voted to authorize a strike in case the deal doesn't go through. And I think at this point, game companies even will be like, hey, screw you. Will
they be like, yeah, let's work in the middle, we'll get you a deal, and then we can just move forward. So we're taking the audience from the films.
Well, I don't know. I guess honestly, if you put it that way, it could actually go either way. So
they're not asking for a whole lot, I don't think.
Same things that they were asking for with the AI protections and that sort of thing, which I get. But then the flip side is we're talking about digital characters, and one of the things that is going to be big in the future is that NPC characters, that characters you interact with in the game, are going to have conversations and dialogue generated on the fly.
Yeah, which would be AI.
Going to be AI.
I mean, I think video games is a different beast in the fact that you can get away with AI for voicing certain characters. As long as you're not copying an actor's voice, I don't see the problem with like NPC characters and stuff like that. Main characters might be a problem, but Now
I think if they're taking your voice and training NPCs to talk like you without your explicit consent.
That's not okay.
But if you say, hey, you give me X number of dollars and you can use my voice via AI for this game character forever, I'd be like, hey, this would be kind of cool, because when I get to be too old to do Mario or whatever, I get to be too old to be whatever character, that character is going to live on.
No, when you get too old to be Mario, they just make you an ambassador.
An ambassador. They just retire you. So this is coming from Gizmodo. SAG-AFTRA voting to authorize potential video game actor strike.
That wouldn't even possibly happen for like weeks.
Yeah, well, the end of the month.
I know, but they're just like, I don't know. They're just like, hurry, we got to get attention again. Quick.
Yes, pretty much. I think what's going on is it's not working on the Hollywood front, because I think a lot of people, they're either tired of hearing about it. They're not really looking at it because they're like, well, I guess I'm just going to have to find other stuff to watch because there's not going to be any new stuff for a while. Or they're angry because they're finding out how much these people are actually getting paid or have been offered and they've turned it down. People are just, but yeah, you're right. They're like, people are going to like, well, I'm just going to go play video games. Nope, you can't get away from us. We're over there too.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
Depending on how it goes, the entertainment industry's gradual worker uprising may finally hit video games. Per Deadline.
The ones who should be striking as far as video games are concerned are the people who make the games, who are given horrible crunch times and everything else, practically living at the gaming studios for like weeks at a time to get stuff done. I'd be more sympathetic towards them than the people who just do the voice of the characters.
I tend to agree.
No offense to the voice actors. I'm just saying you guys don't have it anywhere near as bad.
I think in that case, when you're definitely pushed hard. I know EA has been a company that's been looked at for crunch for decades. And yeah, I'd be like, yeah, you get to go home. Per Deadline, SAG-AFTRA's board has unanimously voted to authorize a strike in case its upcoming bargaining meeting with the games industry falls through. The voting process will take place Tuesday, September 5th and last all the way to Monday, September 25th. According to the outlet, the negotiation will include companies such as Activision, EA, Insomniac, and WB Games. There's a whole list of them, but there aren't that many. I thought that there would be a lot more.
There's probably a lot of independents that aren't part of whatever this.
Right. These are ones that probably worked, the big companies, the AAA studios that work with union talent. If you're, I think Riot Games was on there and a couple other ones. Epic was on there. But if you're a smaller developer, you're probably not going to be, needing to deal with these people. SAG-AFTRA is aiming to secure protections against AI and wage increases of 11% retroactively to expiration.
See, that's to expiration. Okay, but the expiration has about what, a year?
I think
they went up. It was up last year, and they were given a little bit window to negotiate or something.
Yeah. Followed by 4% increases in the second and third years of the agreement.
So 15%. Wait. 11%, then 4 and 4. So they want 19% pay increase.
Yes.
Okay, never mind. Take it back. That's stupid.
Similar to those who work under film and TV contracts. Additional demands being made include a set medic present for stunts or dangerous work.
That's on film.
Performed are they talking for people that are like motion capture artists that get the little balls
Well, if they're
on
talking motion capture, there should be a medic present. But,
prohibitions against stunts on self-taped auditions and vocal stress protection.
So wait. Prohibitions against stunts on self-tape auditions. So you're not allowed to go do your self-tape audition where you do a stunt because it might make us look bad. And, someone might get hurt, but it's so you don't make us look bad. And vocal stress protections. So what, minimum hour you're allowed to work, or minimum, you can work for 5 hours and you have to be off for, it's totally possible to get vocal stress. My sister's a singer. I can tell you it's very, very possible. But I'm just like, it would have to be reasonable vocal stress protections.
Yeah. So this is Fran Drescher, who does not strike me as a gamer, but there we go. She said, once again, AI is putting our members in jeopardy of reducing their opportunity to work.
Well, I wonder why they would rather go with AI than work with these people. I have no clue.
I'm just going to leave this here. She's going to become the poster child for why these studios might decide to just go with, because it turned out that she lied about a lot of things. And she actually was, which is really unfortunate because I was actually siding with her because they replaced her completely. And here it turns out that she actually was offered a pretty good deal, but she wanted more. Mm-hmm. And she didn't let her fans know that she was offered a better deal and led them to believe
they still might have sided with her. She'd just been up front.
Right. And then it turned out she was offered a lot more money than what she said originally. And she's like, well, that's not really the point. And people are like, well, now you lied to us.
It's really the point. Yeah.
It is the point.
Don't lie.
Because you had people getting behind you and then it turned out that your story was crap. So then they're like, well, what else is...
Trust once, lost is hard to regain.
So anyway, this is a Guild negotiation director, Duncan Crabtree, Ireland, added to her statement, the voice and performance capture artist. So it is performance capture artist.
I think there should be a medic present for that. I don't think that's an unfair ask at all.
Who bring video game characters to life deserve a contract that reflects the value they bring to the multi-billion-dollar gaming industry. We're going to talk about that. We have another video coming up today talking about how gaming journalists are being marginalized because they're not important to the multi-billion-dollar gaming industry. The problem with this, again, like we talked about earlier, is that video games, by their very nature, are more interactive. And it's not like you're just recording somebody's performance. They use motion capture or whatever, but they can even do that. Like if they've just got video game characters fighting or doing stunts or whatever, they might have archival footage or have AI be able to generate those motions.
Well, yeah, I think if somebody has archival footage that they can use that they already paid somebody for, I don't think they should have to refilm the whole thing again. That's ridiculous.
No. So this, from my point of view, I get it to some degree, but I'm also looking at this like everybody's looking at the amounts of money being made and they're like, yeah, we want a cut. We want a cut of that. We want a bigger cut of that. And they're going to say, okay, cool. We're just going to replace you. Because you're actually, I think this has the opposite effect, because if you can work with them and maybe get, a couple concessions here and there, they're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna keep you around. We're not gonna replace you with AI, because ultimately at the end of the day, having a human being is preferable to AI. But if you guys are gonna make things so damn difficult and expensive for us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're gonna just nuke the lot of you and just replace you all with AI, because somebody will do it. Somebody outside your union will do it. And video game voice actors, I hate to say it, I'm not trying to belittle these people at all, but compared to movies and animation and TV, they're not as well known. They're not as, a lot of times people joke about how bad video game dialogue is, and they just turn the damn audio off because they'd rather just read it, right? So anyway, it said voice and performance capture AI are already among the most advanced uses of AI. Without contractual protections, the employers are asking performers to unknowingly participate in the extinction of their artistry and livelihoods. I think the union is asking them to participate in the extinction of their livelihoods. Yeah, so they went on strike in 2016 too, which I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
I don't remember that at all. And it was a couple of months that they were on strike, but I don't think they're going to get it this time because things have changed.
Like 6 months they were on strike, I said.
6 months, yeah. And they got one comment on this. Like, does anybody actually care? Good. Gaming needs more union action. No, ask people who unionize in the gaming industry what usually happens. Usually they get gone.
I think the medic on set for something like that is fair ask. I think I can't believe they didn't have a medic on set in case something happened. That's ridiculous. There should be somebody there in case something happens. That is a fair ask entirely. I think the vocal performance, if we don't have vocal stress, is also a real thing. I've seen it. But I think there's a difference between being reasonable and then what they usually ask for, which is like ridiculous. I don't know what the request is for that, so I can't tell you if it's ridiculous or not. But there should be some limitations on it because, singers face all the time. That's why you have people on concert and they have to cancel shows because their voice just goes or they stressed it too much. And it happens, especially if you're a voice actor for a living. I can see that being a fair concern. So I think that there could be a fair agreement reached there. AI, I think, is also a fair, there could be a fair agreement reached. But I think that with gaming, they're going to get away with a lot more than they would for films. Yeah,
because again, the future of gaming is more interactive characters, which is going to require AI.
Right, because you can't just have somebody record, because you don't know what people are going to have it say.
No.
You can't have, there's no way you could record enough dialogue to do that. You could have an actor, do the voice and the AI generates it based on that voice. But again, what actors can agree to that, honestly? But a 19% pay increase, that's a bit excessive.
And again, like I said, I'm not trying to throw shade at video game voice actors. I'm not, but they are not usually as iconic as other voice actors in other industries. I'm sorry. A lot of times people find voice acting in video games to be meh,
It depends. Yeah.
So you could replace them a lot easier. And it's the same with Bayonetta. It's like you replace her and okay. A lot of times
people still bought the game.
People still bought the game. Yeah. I
just think video games, especially, I think it's a couple of things here. Like I said, I think one, they're trying to cash in on that. Oh, the gaming companies are greedy, says, Hollywood. They're trying to cash in on that. They're also afraid people are going to go play games instead of watching their shows and movies. Like, okay, no new shows. I'll just go buy the new games. Well, we can't have that, can we? We have to have a stranglehold. My next question is, are they going to threaten the game influencers? If you cover any of this in a negative way, or if you support those studios in any way, it would be a real shame if you could never join SAG-AFTRA in case someday you want to be a voice actor in a video game.
I could see him doing that.
I'm like,
I totally could see him doing that.
So militant about everything is probably one of the reasons people don't give a shit, and they think you're full of it. They're not backing you. Every time a game developer complains, are you going to say, well, they're wearing designer clothes, so how dare they? I'm like, do you know how much some of those CEOs get?
Gamers are the last people to piss off, the last people. Because actually what's going to happen is it's mostly AAA studios. So what will happen is these studios, it'll grind to a standstill. There won't be more AAA titles. Oh, well, a lot of people are moving on to indie games anyway.
Well, my next thing is, if you're going to be given better pay and working conditions, the people that should be getting that, everybody should get fair working conditions. Like the medic on set, I think is fair ask. But the people who are making the damn thing are the ones who should probably get the pay raises and the better working conditions. They're the ones that suffer the most,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. So there we go, guys. This is probably going to happen too. We'll see. I don't know. The video game industry, they've been kind of.
Does anybody really care? How many views this video gets will say a lot.
One comment on Gizmodo.
It'll be interesting to me. You'll see how many views this gets. I could be wrong, but I'm predicting it doesn't get a lot because I don't think people give a shit.
I don't think they do either. Gamers are very different than the normies who are watching movies and TV shows, and gamers are a lot of them just aren't as, I guess, attached to video game voice actors because we're used to characters changing all the time. Like they change from game to game all the time.
One and done. You play it once and you don't play it again, and you never hear that character's voice again. You don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying that's the way for everyone. I know some people are like, well, that's not true. I love this game. I play it 20 million times. Or you're an iconic character like Mario or something like that, and look what happened there. But I'm just saying, as you're an iconic character that's well known and his voice has remained the same for years, most people aren't going to even, it's not even going to faze them. They're like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, like, oh, they changed a voice actor. Oh, okay.
Usually they're so good about making sure they're similar that you can't tell half the time anyway.
Yeah, and that's what's probably going to happen. I mean, I hate to say it.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's what's going to happen.
And I think a lot of the voice actors in gaming are also crossover with anime too. And I'm not sure how many of those people are SAG-AFTRA.
There is a lot that cross over, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like most of the voice actors that do video games also do anime too. But unfortunately, I hate to, and I'm not, again, I love anime voice actors. I do. But it's not exactly like we're dealing with like Hollywood A-listers or dealing with, what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think what I think is unfair about all this is that the people that are supposed to be benefiting are the lower on the totem pole people.
Well, that's just it.
And the thing is, the A-listers are out there getting interim agreements to go keep working, and they're like, we're going to stamp the little guy, but you're not.
Yeah, because. Yeah, it's just a weird situation, but I mean, I guess in everything, I'm like, look, I am a capitalist. If you can get more money out of these people,
by all means do.
By all means do it. If they're willing to get, I'm just saying, I'm also realistic, and I look at this like.
I think sometimes the asks are fair and sometimes they're not fair.
Yeah. And I'm not
pointing that out doesn't make you anti.
No, not at all. It's like I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's going to work because A, B, C, and D, and especially with the Hollywood situation, because
especially the writers.
Especially the writers, and especially with the Hollywood situation when streamers are actively cutting content, it's going to make it very hard for them to give you a raise and also keep a whole bunch more of you on staff than they actually need.
Video game people would be willing to give raises. I think it's going to be a harder push on the AI with them because they're already using AI.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a harder sell on the AI. It's going to be a harder win for the AI on video games. I think with writers and with actors, they might have some grounds and they might have an easier time beating the AI issue. But video games is going to be
hard because everything is going that way. Eventually, video games 10 years from now are going to be so dependent on AI. There's going to be, especially the AAA titles, that there's going to be an unprecedented level of interactivity. It's going to be like the freaking holodeck in Star Trek, especially with VR and everything else. And that is very dependent on AI. So it'd be like, well, we want protections from AI. I'm like, I don't think you're going to get it. That's the way things are going. I don't think you're going to get it. But if you can get that money, make that money. That's what I always tell people. If you can get it, get it. So there we go. We're going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.